Adventurers, Gripner is giving you the D and delivering a brand new campaign. Welcome to The Glimmering, the world's first 5e tabletop role-playing game on the blockchain. Beginning March 30th, mint your NFT hero from our Genesis collection of playable characters. And start kicking ass at play.gripner.com. Search the hall for a table with your favorite game master. Connect with fellow adventurers. Play the game and etch your place in history when your progress is recorded on chain. Whether you're a noob or a seasoned pro, there's a quest waiting for you. So what the f*** are you waiting for? Kick down the door and take what's yours. At play.gripner.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another session of The Glimmering. This is our 5th session since we started back, and we have an interesting adventure for you all today. So with that, I'll pass it off to Steven, and our band of miscreants can get started.
Happy Friday, everybody. We're back playing The Glimmering. So let's see, in our last session, the group of adventurers, heroes, have decided to go back to Borghild, taking some parcels with them for the Order of the Moon. And then on the way, they caught up with an orc bard named Christ Sweet Tusk, who was telling them about the reasons why he left Borghild and is traveling up to Riverwine, which is because bards are going missing in Borghild. He decided he did not want to go missing and decided to make his way up to Riverwine. During the night where they were camping with Christ, who's going in the opposite direction, but decided to stay with the heroes for a bit of protection. In the morning, basically the heroes came to a strange sight as an axbeak was plotting its way, chasing a bunch of goblin baboons, bastard baboons, as it were, and with 3 goblins on its back. As they were trying to wrangle these things, a combat ensued. The heroes defeated the axbeak and the goblin wranglers and have now been befriended by a group of bastard baboons. It is now right after that fight. Chris the Bard slept through it, woke up kind of confused what happened, and it's the morning on, was this the first day of you guys heading back down the pass to Borghild?
Chris was also learning how to cook a breakfast, I believe.
Yeah, which he's trying to do. It's become painfully obvious just watching him for a few minutes that he's not used to cooking for himself or for other people.
While he's cooking, I have befriended the baboon that is giving me the most attention.
Wait, you're supposed to be helping Chris cook our breakfast. You can't you can't just leave him without supplies.
Well, why do you think breakfast is so bad?
You think because I'm a woman, I should be over by the fire?
You're the one obviously no. You made the threat, so I assumed that he was your reward.
As I was saying,
okay.
What I'm doing is the baboon that's giving me the most attention. And I'm digging into like my travel pouch and my goodies and using some of my accessories to decorate my baboon.
As you're doing that, Chris says, "I think it's done." And he comes over and he puts a slab of meat basically on each of your mess kit, and there's still feathers sticking out of it. It looks half cooked. And he's like, I think this is going to be okay.
You know, you were traveling for like what, 2-3 days before we found you. How did you feed yourself? You know.
And he goes, I got trail rations.
I think I'm gonna eat one of those today.
He goes, well, I don't have any more.
Do we have any?
And he takes a big bite out of this feathery mess that he's half cooked, and he's like, I've had worse.
I too have had
man.
worse.
I'm scared.
Shorts.
And then
What do I-
and he scarfs it down and he goes and he grabs up his stuff and he's like, well, I'm going to Riverwind. If I'm fast, I can actually drink some ale tonight. So bye.
Best of luck, dude.
Appreciate all your help.
Stay out of the shadows.
That's a nice sunny day. I'm sure it'll be fine. Good luck to you.
More sun, more shadows. Enjoy your day.
Enjoy your breakfast.
Well, he wouldn't be much help ensuring the mail gets in on time, so no great loss.
You wouldn't be much help doing much anything.
I take my meal back over to the fire.
Can I use Sacred
cook it
Flame to cook my
longer.
meat better?
Let's see. Sure, you could at least
He
try.
automatically fails.
It depends on how good of a life the creature led.
I will prestidigitate my meal to be just slightly better.
Well, you could even make the flavor different, right?
Yep, my meal.
Oh, just yours. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess radiant damage might be similar to microwaving the damn thing. I don't know.
It'd be flame-like radiance. Just saying.
All right, so you're gonna sacred flame your breakfast.
I judge my meat as wanting and cook it to be better.
All righty. Well, it definitely your sacred flame does actually improve it a bit. I mean, the feathers are still in it, so you gotta either chomp on those or pick them out, and you're not quite sure he picked the best chunks of meat. He definitely didn't take out the liver. That gives you the most nutrients, but you have even with prestidigitation and a bit of sacred flame, it's a so-so breakfast.
I've recooked mine over the fire. I
It
want
tastes more like rat.
Just a little overdone, just to make sure.
Nice and gamey and chewy.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with iron rations.
Fair.
My belly's full. I'm ready to pull up camp and head into the city. Anybody?
All right, you pull up camp. Your baboons come with you. They don't seem to be that picky about the food at all. Like whether or not you give them rations or half done Axby, they'll eat just about anything. And you and this trail of baboons start making it down the pass. And the next 2 days go without incident. The weather's nice. You do see a couple of travelers. They look like just folks, miners who are heading up the pass. You don't see any kind of organized caravans or anything else. But within a few days, you make it to the outskirts of Borgahild. It's got that rampart and log wall. Just beyond that, they're still working on the Order of the Moon chapter house, and then the sprawl of Borgahild, definitely more built up than Riverwine, but still, a bit of a town in the making. Sprawls out into the distance.
Well, let's get to the chapter house and ditch the mail so we can go have a drink.
Ditch the mail? I never thought I'd hear you say that.
Well, we got to be ready for the next round of mail that goes out.
We're not taking it anymore. Yes, let's go to the house. We've got.
I advise delivering it and then a very rapid relocation to someplace that supplies ale.
Okay, you go in and basically the chapter house is a little bit more built up than when you left up, but not much. Workmen are working rapidly to get this small keep built. As you bring the horses in, Tora comes up, the stable master, and she's like, "Oh, happy to see you back. How? Have any interesting adventures?" Quite. Usually that trip is without incident, and she starts taking the horses, and she's like, "I hope nothing serious. You don't look any the worse for wear."
Thank you.
We did acquire baboons.
She goes, I noticed that. There's been a few of them that have come in. I've got to warn you that some of the taverns here do not like the baboons. The Green Knight is basically the most tolerant of the taverns, and it says you have to keep control of your baboons, but they kind of get into everywhere. Most other taverns, they won't let you in if you've got baboons with you. She goes, but yeah, these critters seem to be clinging on to a lot of wayfarers coming up and down the pass. It's they're mischievous but cute, and she scratches the chin of one of them.
I was thinking about Spiky, but I what do you think about Dave instead?
Dave. It's just quite the majestic name.
Good name.
And she's like, usually I find with pets is I don't name them for a while and see what kind of personality manifests. But you know, to each their own.
I look around to my party and I go, Spiky or Dave?
No,
I
I'm partial to
Spiky.
Dave. Well,
Dave? Oh, all right. So I painted in my horse, and me and Dave are gonna look for snacks.
Classic Dave.
I'm going to the fucking chapter house.
Well, I'm looking for snacks so that I can watch you judge at the chapter house.
How about we do both? Is there street food? Somebody's got to have rat on a stick or something, you know.
That sounds great.
Oh, I
So
love
with-
rats.
Within the courtyard of the chapter house, there's not much. There's horse feed, which you could eat it if you wanted. If you search around, you might be able to find some of the workers' lunches, but they're probably not going to be too keen on you taking their lunches.
Yeah.
I feel like
That
I
was
would be
like a
judged if I did that.
That's probably would be
not
just.
the worst. I'm not going to be that mad about that. I mean, it would be rude, but
Well, I realized that I'm not going to be able to get snacks to watch this judgment happen. So I'm just kind of twiddling my thumbs going, all right.
All right. And Tithys is making a beeline towards that central building where you know that Commander Schwell is. All right. So Tithys is making a beeline. The rest of you following him?
Yes.
Her?
Oh, at a pace. I want this job done. The mail delivered in satisfaction of a job well done.
All right. So yeah, you get the bags off. Torres is brushing off, taking the you got the bag. She takes off the saddle, starts brushing down the horse, and following Tithys as she makes her way to that big oaken door. You guys make a beeline with the various packages. So Tithys, you're in front of the door.
I'd say I kick it down, but I don't really think I could. So I'll just
That's
open
fair.
it forcefully.
Yeah. All right, so you open it forcefully. So with a, you know, because it kind of scrapes against the boards on the floor and everything else, and then much like you encountered him before, Commander Schwelb, a middle-aged dwarf with spectacles, is writing in his little notebook as he takes stacks and moves them. And
This, I just have
So-
to say, I think you're getting stronger. Yeah, you just forced through those doors.
You
I
know,
think judgment
doors
empowers
annoying.
you.
Sometimes, you know, it really just fills me. All right, not right now. Sorry.
And Schwab takes off his spectacles, blinks up, and he goes, "Oh, excellent! You're back, and you've brought more packages. Fantastic! Well done."
We need to have a talk.
Yes, we do. I think. Says, "Well, one, I believe I owe you some money," and he takes out a lockbox, key out, opens it up, puts out various piles of gold pieces. He's like, "Thank you very much for your service to the Order of the Moon. It is a great responsibility that we have for the Empire, making sure that missives and parcels are delivered in a timely manner. And And you've done admirably well. I was not actually expecting you for a couple of days. Usually when an unknown group goes up to Riverwine, they end up staying for a little bit longer. So thank you very much for your haste. You've done an excellent job. Were you interested in maybe more work?
No, it's
certainly.
Funny. Here. It's funny you mention that. You know, that adventurers usually take a bit going up the pass. I'm sure none of them get hurt, you know, as long as they're wearing your tabards, right?
That would be true.
Yeah. So, and you know, each of us is supposed to protect the innocent, right? That's part of our you know, our mission. That's what we're sworn to do while we're wearing these tabards. And
absolutely. And I've noticed you're not wearing yours. Is there a reason?
Oh, no, not at all. No, it's funny you mentioned that, because we ran into a beautiful family that just happened to be, you know, slaughtered. Well, they weren't wearing your tabards, and it you know, it was just kind of strange. We had to help out a little girl who was recently orphaned and go up the pass and take down some goblins and bandits, and one of them said something really strange.
And what would that be?
Would be, you know, that you pay the bandits in these places to ignore you.
That would be true.
And you don't find that as a problem at all?
Well, it is a solution to a problem that is real and ongoing. And if I had my choice, I would take a division of knights up into that pass and kill every single bandit there. But I do not have the luxury or the manpower to do so. So one, I'm very happy that you were able to save this girl and take revenge on the family. We don't want bandits attacking anyone. But the deal that I made with bandits was a deal of necessity. And not all of the bandits agreed to it. I still can't get the wizard's retinue to agree with it. They still attack our caravans. But yeah, I am under constraints. I need to make choices in order for our duty to persist here in this wilderness. So while you may not like the methods, I would ask you, what would you do if you had the same choice?
Give them all a tabard. Give everybody who passes through a tabard. Easy. Done.
I don't have that many tabards.
Oh, that's the limiting factor, is the amount of shirts that you have.
Well, part of it, yes. Listen, if I could do it differently, I absolutely would. And I've beseeched my superiors to send me more troops. So far, they've said no. I keep on telling them that this is going to persist as a problem. I am glad that you rectified the problem that you saw. I think that is well within your right to do so as the Order of the Moon. But to get the parcels through, I've had to make deals that I don't particularly like making, but that is the reality of this place. I see your faith, and I know what it is, and I've dealt with your kind before, and I know that you are often inflexible. I don't have the ability to be so in my position. So what do you suppose we do about this, halfling?
I'm not quite sure. You don't, you know, find that one of your main tenets being preserving and protecting the innocent clashes at all with your paying off bandits to ignore you and thus have to go after other prey?
We do tell people moving up the pass that they might want to wait to travel with the Order of the Moon, and then they can gain Order of the Moon protection. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. As you can see, I'm having a hard time getting reliable people to do this work on the frontier. Everybody's going up and wanting to make their fortune on Jumpstone. And that is why that I would like to offer each of you a commission within the Order of the Moon. You've done an excellent job. You seem to have your priorities in the right place. And if you would like to continue to protect people making their way up and down the pass, it's an excellent way to do so. I will say that we pay the bandits not to attack us, but that doesn't mean you can't hunt bandits in return. We made no such allowance for that, even though that's what they may think. I remember the deals I made with them. They're paid not to attack us. We have made no promises on the other side. So if you truly believe in this good priest of retribution, I think I may have a job for you.
It's judgment. But guys, I need some help here.
Judgment, retribution. What's the difference?
Very different. Please help me out. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of in a bind.
I'm just eating popcorn. Prestidigitated popcorn.
Yeah, I'm just reaching in the bucket over there. Just
rat jerky.
Opinions, helpful hints. I don't something, you know.
The only other questions I have, I do not have a contribution to your current quandary. However, we also have data that one about the simulacrums, and when we were fighting these bandits, there was a creature that looked exactly like me, and that was really weird.
Yeah.
And also, we ran into a bard, and apparently there is some sort of war on bards. Is that here?
I don't know if I would call it a war on bards. So tell me about this simulacrum, this thing that looked like you. What was it?
It's we were able to vanquish
like
it, and it came from.
Version of his
Oh,
twin.
god damn it! It was dressed great.
It was look like him but cuter. If that, like exact twin but still cuter.
I've never been one to recognize cuteness in either tieflings or, well, non-dwarves. I like my women bearded and my men bearded too.
Oh, I agree. Hachi machi.
So what happened? So you confronted your twin, and then what happened?
It vanished into the glimmering. Wasn't that kind of what happened? It dissipated?
This is not the first time I've heard this tale. A couple of weeks before you left for Riverwine, there was a similar report of a strange creature in a bar fight at the Green Knight. It dissipated. It didn't look like another person in the bar, from what I understand, but when it was killed, it dissipated into glimmering.
Well, why did I mean? I don't expect you to have all the answers, but why would it look like me? Almost as cute as me.
Almost as cute as you, yeah. That I don't know. That's very straight. And the rest of you attest to this. It was a cuter version of this.
Almost as cute, yes.
I
Almost
don't
cute.
know that I would say that part. But...
I have but dim memories, but as I recall, the doppelganger was far more adorable.
Yeah, Char knows. Char was there.
No, I think you were the better of the two. That's what I would say.
Starting to doubt your judgment even now.
Two reports now of creatures dissipating into glimmering is concerning. We don't know what the glimmering is, and it hasn't.
If you pee on it, nothing happens.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Not intelligence I thought I would be getting today, but fine. Because keep your eyes out. If you hear more about this, I'd be very interested in knowing about it.
This tavern you mentioned,
the Green Knight, yeah.
Oh, and they're friendly to baboons as well.
I don't I don't go. I try to stay out of taverns. I just heard the story, but
Me and Dave are interested.
I would take it that's that creature that's crowing on you.
Dave?
Yes.
Oh, bestie, Dave.
Mm. I really couldn't tell you about the Green Knight. I try to stay out of there. It sometimes has the wrong element. And of course I'm a very busy man. So
can you tell us about maybe these people who are critics of some of the more flamboyant performers of this area?
Because there has been I heard reports that Bard's gone missing. I didn't really think about it at first because well, they're itinerant for the most part, and I'm also not a big fan of music. But a trio of artists came into town just a couple of days ago, which I was actually very interested in hearing. They're led by a human named Mick Mohan, and who is supposed to be he plays a modified rebach that he calls a violin. And I've heard that the sound of that music is pure and melodic, and he plays with two other musicians. And I was very interested in going to see him play. And I just found out this morning that according to the other members of his trio, he has gone missing.
But to just him, not any of the other.
No,
That's
no.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, it seems, from what I understand, there's been an influx of performers coming in because rich patrons here want to have a fantastic celebration of the summer solstice coming up in the next month. And so they've been making their way here, attracted by rich patrons who want to show that both Borghild and, from what I understand, Riverwine are growing communities. But
I think we should have a drink
and decide
see
whether
where the
we want
day
to do more
takes us.
tasks.
Oh yeah. TT.
Does
you
that make sense?
to-
Like maybe we can go
ready?
have a
Wanna take
drink
a-
on it.
Yes,
wanna-
I
you
need.
know- You need to take a drink.
Please,
Okay.
The proper end to a successful mission is usually ale.
I will be back, and we will discuss this further.
because I hope we will. Like I said, you've shown to be trustworthy, and I do hope you'll come back and work for me again. I'd hate to lose you.
Can I just insight check him real quick, just for a basic sense of just
Of course.
fairness?
I mean, you can roll dice whenever you want with the
Yeah.
the chance of a natural one.
Well,
And
not
the,
for this halfling. No, sirree.
That's
the-
true.
the-
not
the-
exactly.
the is he blowing smoke up my ass check.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. That's about it. 11.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be very well. One, he seems very confident in his position. That's the first thing you gain, but that doesn't mean he's being truthful or not. But it does have a certain logic to it, right? I mean, this is the borderland of the wilderness. There's not a lot of law up here, and not a lot of organization. It's all just kind of a jumble of people rushing in trying to get what they want. The Order of the Moon has an excellent reputation, and that reputation is predicated on them doing their job as mail delivery, and they take it very seriously. So a pragmatist might actually make that kind of decision until he no longer, or he has enough resources to make a different decision. And if anything, Commander Schwalb has struck you as very pragmatic.
don't know how to judge this one.
Beer time.
Yes, please.
Okay, so
I'm
you
in
guys
need of some mead.
you guys
Okay.
make your way
You
to
like that, don't you?
the Green Knight. The Green Knight is easily probably the largest tavern within Borghild. You've passed it on the way in, maybe one or two if you went in. It's got a very large common room that's usually filled with locals and travelers. You actually make it in. You made it in town kind of mid-morning, and so it's a little quiet here. There's a couple of drunks still sleeping in the corner. There's a couple of there's a group of what look like laborers who are getting an early midday meal and drinking their pint of ale. There's a scattering of other folks. There's a few staff members here. There's a musician playing some panpipes in another corner of the room. He seems to be more practicing rather than performing.
On my way to this tavern, I'm sure I passed street vendors.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of street vendors.
I found one vendor with like a really long piece of fabric.
Okay.
And I wanted to find another vendor who had like a twine or thin rope of some sort and purchase those.
Well, the one vendor that you find actually has a bit of both. They're lauding basically the nicest silks from Beth Zarak. But as you take a look at it, this isn't silk at all. This is kind of, sort of just a fine linen that has what looks like probably some minor magic put on it to give it the sheen of silk without actually feeling like silk.
I'm okay with this. I see this and I'm like, it's fine. And I dig through for like a deeper, like a more purple or royal tone if I can find it.
So yeah, he starts looking around, and there's a lot of oranges and a lot of reds and a lot of greens, and those are the colors that are sort of favored in this area. But you notice that he wiggles his fingers, and then he's like, "Oh, here's my purple."
Oh, perfect! I'm very excited. So I take that and I get my string, and when we
5 gold. 5 gold.
5 gold.
All right.
I'm totally okay with that, but I'd like to only give him 4 and walk away quickly. And
Madam Gnome.
As fast as I can walk away. How fast?
He puts it in his thing.
So
he already
lets it
overcharged
go?
you. It's still
Okay.
overcharging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of accidentally step into the space between them, fumbling around.
No mail on the floor. Jesus.
So we get to the tavern and, it's pretty empty, and I'm like just in the back corner. Like they've just ignored them altogether. And when we came into town the first time, I had picked up this purple stone, or more like rock-like.
Right.
And I'm fashioning it into, wrapping it around and fashioning it into a necklace for Dave to wear.
Okay.
And then, I've been through lots of cities at this point, and I've seen women with these wraps, how they wrap their baby and like can hold their baby on their front or back. So I'm like trying to like wrap it around and like figure out how to tie it. And I'm like, Dave, come here. And so like Dave's like holding on, and I'm like, so I'm just that's what I'm doing.
All right. So you've got Dave swaddled like a baby into this purple cloth.
Yeah. With a purple rock necklace now.
Dave is extremely compliant to all of these things. And so now you guys come up, and I take it you're going to order some drinks.
Yeah, I order my mead.
You order your mead.
I keep a close eye on Boris and make sure that he doesn't stray and cause trouble in the bar.
The bartender is another gnome woman. Basically, she's got this kind of step stool behind the bar so she could come up and look at most people at eye level. And she looks at you and smiles and says, "What an ugly baby."
And they go, "Well, thank you. It's a little bastard."
And she goes, "Yeah, we've seen them a lot. Now, as long as your bastards are well behaved, we have no problem with them here. But
Dave,
please,
Dave is a sweetheart, an absolute doll.
It looks like a sweetheart."
Yeah.
And she comes out and she you takes your orders and she brings out your drinks, and so Schwelb asked for your tabards back, and you guys are thinking about whether or not you want to continue to work with the Order of the Moon. So she makes a little small talk with you, asks you where you've been, where you're going.
We ran into a bard who made camp with us as we came back down.
Yeah, bards have been nervous lately.
Yeah, what is? Do you know anything about that?
She goes, a little bit. A lot of bards have been coming up because of the solstice coming up, and they're hoping to make some coin, especially with among the richer members of our town. And in fact, very famous bard actually made it in town recently, Mikor Mohan, and he's gone missing. We've had 3-4 bards, now 4 bards that I know about that have gone missing, and it's all been under strange circumstances.
From the same tavern, or just all over the city?
No, just all over the city. The one thing, except for Mohan, which I understand is a teetotaler, is basically, it seems the first 3 wandered off while they were drunk, somewhere near the. And then the last time they saw him, it seemed like that they were going to the mill on the outside of town, which supposedly there's a set of standing stones there. I've never gone out to see them. Yeah, from my understanding is the first 3, they were deep within their cups when they went missing. And so, to be honest, none of us thought much of it. Missing bards deep in their cups is kind of a cliche. But from what I understand, and I've only met the man briefly once, but Mohan's a bit of a teetotaler, very serious about his craft. I can't imagine he got drunk and went into the weeds, but his companions have not seen him, and the one who speaks at least seems very nervous.
What area of town did he go missing in?
Oh, excuse me. What's that?
What area of town did he go missing in?
His companions aren't sure. He said he wanted to see the sights, and it was early in the day, and then he just never showed up for their performance in the evening.
And you've checked the brothels?
Personally.
No, not me personally. You would have to talk to his companions, but I would find it difficult to believe, if the stories are to be told, is Mohan's true love died long ago, and he is not taken another. It's a big motif in his music, from what I understand. Just about everything he does is dedicated to his long-lost lady. He even named his strange rebec after her, Violin. These stories are well done.
Where can we find his companions? Where are they staying?
She goes, they are staying in what's that place? The Seven Flowers. And he goes, once a brothel, now converted by one of our richer patrons, the halfling Crevice.
It's a good name.
She goes, yeah, he was the one who brought Mohan and his companions in.
Well, he would be most interested in his recovery, I suppose.
Yes, from
For
what I
the
understand,
celebration.
he's brought him at great expense. And so, if for whatever reason you're interested in that, I would go to I would go there and talk to them.
And what was that name again?
The Three Flowers.
I heard something different. Okay. I thought I heard you say Halfling Crevice.
No, he's
That's
the
his name, Crevice.
the Three Flowers used to be a brothel. Now it's more like I don't know. Crevice wants to bring culture to this place, and so he bought the place. He kind of cleaned it up. It's more of a bit of a social club.
Oh God,
I
it's a
misunderstood.
boutique hotel.
I thought you said that there was a former brothel called the Halfling Crevice. You see.
Oh no! Even though there's probably a brothel in Orler named something like that. Yeah, a bit blatant advertising.
Yes. That's my surprise.
I think the only proper response to that is, but.
And she whispers a little closely, and she goes, "I do have to warn you that this Halfling Crevice, he sees himself as a very cultured individual. He is not, and he can be very ruthless and
Tea
very.
drinkers.
What's that? Oh, Crevice is not a tea drinker. That's the bard. That's Mick or Mohan.
Okay.
But I would be careful with Crevasse.
Okay, well, good. The warning is appreciated. It's more in the public interest that we would be having a conversation at all.
Quite careful with his crevice.
Yep.
Let's go visit this crevice and get deep in the Three Flowers. We need an inn to stay at, right?
I suppose we do.
Yeah, I like it.
Are you opposed to getting in flowers?
No, I need to take my mind off of things.
I'm
personally.
pro pedal.
Rope pedal.
Yeah.
So none of you, just real quick, before we go off on this grand bard searching event, like none of you have any issue with what we just heard, like at all. You're just.
I mean,
Take
we
it
can
slow.
when we
What-
solve the mystery of the missing bards, which seems fun and interesting. I mean, maybe a little shadow slaying. Then why don't we just take a job with the Shadow of the Moon and get coin per head?
Yes, but you're still working for people who are building their like their town on blood.
But, I
Kind of.
mean, isn't
That's all
every
towns,
town
though,
built
isn't
on
it?
blood?
I don't know. I don't know how to deal with this. This is very difficult.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for your quandary.
Politicians
I-
burn off a lot
I've
more.
heard of these things called
corrupt.
earmuffs. You can wear these earmuffs, and then you don't have to hear things you don't want to hear.
That would not help
We could
blood people.
search for these in the shops.
Do you
And
do you
then-
eat sausage? Yes,
This is
you,
a
sir.
good
Do
start
you-
of an inquiry. Yeah.
Do you eat sausage?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I am sure that when you examine what goes into making a sausage, you will find it just as ugly as some of the things recently revealed as far as what it takes to effectively deliver the mail and protect some rather than none. Personally, I think it's a step in the right direction as long as we can impose a bit more order along the way and proceed to the hunting bandits portion of the programming.
You know, appreciate your advice, but I feel as though your mind might be a bit skewed towards the people who provide your mail. I
This
would
the
take it
sausage
as a
thing.
win.
He went too far with the sausage.
I don't quite understand the comparison, honestly. Making sausages, while probably a dirty business, is not the same as building your town on the blood of travelers. Either way, let's go find some bards and maybe I'll make up my mind by the end of it.
So you just make this comment about the blood of other people, and this
Yeah.
this the guy who's there, one of the woke up drunks, and he kind of like bumps into you in a little bit. He goes, "Have you heard of blood sausage? It's delicious." He goes, "So I don't know. I think your dwarf friend has a great point that the best kind of sausage is blood sausage, and it's exactly the kind of thing you should be thinking about in this. You got a couple copper." I could use a drink. I just lost my train of thought.
I don't know that this will help you find your train, but I slide him a few copper, and then I also would like to hand the gold piece to the bartender who just gave us a shit ton of information.
All right.
Mhm.
Oh, she's like, "Well, thank you. Come again."
Very generous person.
Just we tieflings. Dot. All right, on to the halfling crevice.
All right. So you
Get in that crevice.
get some directions to the Three Flowers. It's in probably what you would call a swankier part of town, if Borgahild's got a swanky part. Definitely much better built buildings and everything else. And as you come to this thing, it's it's actually a very beautiful building. It's about 3 stories tall. It's obviously been freshly painted. It has this very elegant sign outside with a flower motif that says the 3 flowers. It kind of stands out with the rest of sort of the built up bit of ramshackle, even in this part of town of this place. There's a doorman at the front door, a tall sort of lanky human dressed in a kind of suit of sorts, a long sort of deep purple robe, and as he comes up and he's like, "Are you a member?" He sort of looks down his nose at you, a very sort of long and pronounced nose. He's got very sharp features. "I don't think you're a member."
And I look directly up the nostrils. "No, we are here to inquire about membership."
We were hired by a certain party to find a missing bard, and we're here to get a little more detail from them before we start our search.
"And who hired you?"
His crew, of course. They're devastated that he has been missing. I mean, are
But
they
they-
not?
And at about that point in time, you hear this kind of sound coming from inside of it. It's a kind of a rhythmic bass and a different sounding rebec from inside. And he's like, "But they have not left here since Ermohan's disappeared. How did they contact you?"
They sent word to us.
It was a
This is
messenger
why
bird.
we're here to ask them questions. If they had came to us, we wouldn't need to be here to ask the questions.
Come with me. He turns on his heels, opens the door, starts walking through this long chamber, and then goes to the left, always looking back to make sure that you're following him.
I follow.
Following him.
Oh yeah.
And he comes into this well-appointed chamber with chairs and couches, and there are 2 older humans, probably about middle age, long beards, speckled gray. One has what looks like very sort of interesting stand-up stringed instrument that he's playing, and the other one has a rebec, but very different and longer, more elegant, and is trying to play this thing. And if he's doing it right, it's the weirdest instrument you think you've ever heard. It kind of just screeches a little bit, and the person looks very frustrated as he tries to play it again.
Sounds like a mining cart's wheels.
Learning a
And
new instrument.
they look up.
Learning a new instrument is just infuriating, is it not?
And the man with the taller stringed instrument goes, "What is the meaning of this? We're practicing."
Oh no, you sent us a letter, right? Brixa? They sent us a letter.
Oh yes, we've gotten word of your missing bard, and it's what we do. We investigate such things, so we need more details.
Because you hired us. Remember?
I remember no such thing. Whoop. And so he puts down his instrument, lays it on the couch that he's sitting on, and he starts to do kind of a sign language that is interesting because the only other sign language you've heard of is used by undead. And he starts speaking through his hands at the man playing the other instrument. And the man playing the other instrument puts it down as I need all of you to make a perception check.
Sure.
Oh, I need dice.
Or you could roll it on the...
I will
Oh, that's
again.
right. Roll 20.
Once again use polymath to give myself proficiency.
Way to go, Tubi.
Nice, Tubi.
Hey!
Right, yeah.
Tubi's got all the info for
I
us.
had to copy you. That was just such a nice number.
Weird that it presented dark in the channel.
Well, it understands the darkness of your soul.
No, that's like
There you go. 16.
All right. So basically, all of you except for Brixa notice that as this guy starts talking with his hands, he opens his mouth up a little bit, and he has got no tongue. Obviously, his tongue has been severed at some point. So he starts speaking back, and he goes, "Yes, you're right. I did not realize that my associate sent out word. Please, come in, come in."
I'm gonna wink at Brixa.
At which point the doorman, this major domo, sort of snorts as he lets you through.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Yes, go on. Go guard your door.
He goes, "Please inform me when this riffraff wishes to leave." Shuts the door.
I hate to see you leave, but I love to watch you walk away.
Hey, Brixa, I'll be Riff if you'll be Raph.
Yeah.
Well, nice.
All you hear is this sort of regular rhythm, but even by his footfalls, you can tell that the guy is pissed as he walks away.
Well, Tubi winked at me, and I don't know why Tubi's winking at me. So, like, I just winked back. I'm like,
That's Tithis, but okay.
It's TT.
oh, yeah. Sorry, TT.
Because I helped with your lie. We're in this together.
Well, I'm just excited that we're
With the
winking.
weird
This
tone.
is a new thing we have. I'm like, ooh, we're winking.
He goes,
Okay.
so the man with the longer instruments says, I am Lionel Orlearn. And he goes, "And we did not call for you."
Oh no, absolutely not. You didn't. But that's
Do you
the
have-
only way we were going to get in here. But we're really interested. We like to solve mysteries. We're like the Riff and Raff mystery solving gang, and we came down the hill, and we ran into this bard who was fleeing town because he was afraid of this shadow monster. One of his companions had been gone missing by this shadow monster, and so we just had to find out more.
Because, well, I've heard of the bards going missing. It's one of the reasons why both myself and Leslin here, we're not leaving this place. I feel like we have adequate protection here, but I've not heard of the shadow creature. But I do have to say that
be terrified of shadows.
Chris was very specific about shadow creature.
Are you familiar with Chris Sweet Tusk? He has this great song called "Mail for Sale."
They're like,
I helped him
no, I
write
can't
that.
say we are. Probably much to our own detriment. It sounds like a fantastic song, but we are not lyrical artists. We create ambiance and emotion through pure music.
Well, do you have any information that could help us find Sir Mohan?
Well, we do have to say that ever since we came to town, well, not the first day. The first day was quite delightful, and the bard next to him does a bit more of his hand signals, and he goes, "Yes, that was a good day." But Mick became more melancholy as the days went on, and he mumbled something about the spirit of his lost love was calling to him.
Is
violin.
You have to give me one moment. Can I let Dave just? It's getting so hot. I'm gonna let Dave just run around. He's well behaved. So
Don't-
I unwrap myself in the middle of this very important, deep conversation, and I heave Dave over so he can run around. And then
We're
goes,
gonna get
and you were
out of here.
saying,
And so the
Is
first thing
this
that
normal?
Dave does is he jumps onto one of the table where it says Voss, and he sort of just pushes it over. There's this crash, and the two bards are like, "Oh my!"
Please put Dave back. For the love of God.
let's just see what happens.
At
This is
which
gonna-
point, the
we
rest
see
of
what
your
happens.
baboons start basically running around the chamber, and the rest of your baboons are running around the chamber. The bards are like, "Oh, this is not good. We don't have much time."
Do I have
Tell
to
us
make it two
what
hits
you
to
are
grab
right.
mine by the scruff of the neck?
And they're like, so he says that through the wind, his love was calling him to a group of standing stones that are supposedly somewhere off to the west of town.
You've heard
Uh,
of these standing stones. Go
we
on.
had our employer's men go and check. They saw nothing, but if I were to hazard a guess, that's where he went.
And you guys have not gone to inspect these stones?
Oh no, we are pure artists. We hope that Mick will come back, but if you would like to investigate on our behalf, we'd be happy to pay you coin. It's our employer's men seem not very
Adequate.
skilled, and while you have
I
strange
find a lot of men are not adequate.
taste in company, and then you hear a rap, and then the tall guy comes back in. He's like, "What is the meaning of this? Get your animals out of here."
Sorry. Would you believe us if they were also hired separately by the musicians? No? Okay.
Wait.
Out!
Not much of a liar.
I re-swaddle Dave, and I give it like a thumbs up to the two musicians that we've just.
We'll be
talked
back,
to.
probably.
They both kind of nervously go,
Well, I mean, they do hand signs, so this seemed like a
Right.
good one.
Is that the sign language for good?
Yeah, this is. You know what? I don't know, but I'm gonna learn it before.
Yeah,
next
because in
session.
ancient Rome, it was the other way around. This was the good one. This was the bad one.
But
I'm gonna learn this out of character. I'm gonna learn this, and then
Honestly,
I'm gonna
I
come back
haven't-
with whatever that sign is.
I haven't picked all of my languages because I don't know what any of them mean, so I probably.
All right. So
Sorry about the sirens.
No, I don't
I
hear them.
pretend like I did whatever hand signal is
That you think
appropriate,
is appropriate.
that I think is appropriate, and I'll do my best to learn and be a better gnome in the future. And we're following this gentleman in the robe out, or is he behind us?
he's behind you. Like,
Okay, corralling us.
we now
Bye.
go. He calls for backup as you guys come out, and the two burly looking orcs come from places you haven't seen before with great big clubs. It's like, out of here, out of here.
But we do have passes now, right? So we can come. We're guests next time.
You will never have passes here. Get out
We're
of here, you
passes.
adventuring scum.
We'll just tell them later that the Lesland sent for us when we come back. No big deal.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. We should probably name all of these or something, and train them.
Do I have enough time? They go to the door, I'm assuming, and then we corral ourselves out further.
Yeah.
I want to go. You said this building had like some flower pots.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go on the other side of the flower pot, and I want to pee.
What?
That's not going to help us get oriented.
Marking your territories is not the way to garner favor with these people.
Are you guys convincing me not to? As I'm trying to.
I don't know that we can, if I'm honest.
There's a lot going on with like even
Roll to persuade me.
All right, hang on. Let's see.
What did you do in the game today, guys? Well, we rolled to persuade the bard not to pee everywhere.
I've been here before.
He
All
really
right,
has.
so
That's
Wayne did that
honestly
as-
not bad.
Yeah, that's
16.
not bad.
You know what? I feel like you guys are probably right. And Brix is like, oh, she only like partially because having Dave and stuff, she only partially got her bottoms, and then she like hikes him back up, and she goes, fine, but it will be marked eventually.
Well, if it affects how amenable to all of this you are, I must let you know that I rolled a 1 on my charisma
Yeah,
check.
he's not. He's if anything.
Chara's like, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I am the
I
argumentative
guess it was
equivalent of the
Tubi.
dead albatross around your neck right now.
Well, I guess I heard Tubi first because that was the first roll,
Right.
and then I hear Char, and I'm like, it's too late. The moment's passed. There will be another.
We'll let you pee on all the flowers you want when we get to a nice field, and you can just mark all the territory.
You
and-
can
No.
you can
I
pee
like
on
to
the standing
rude
stones.
people's stuff.
Oh well, that's okay. Well,
Don't be rude. I will be in your bed.
They are the rude person. Okay.
I'm confused.
All right,
Deeply.
so I'm just like, this is a normal day for me. Like, I'm like,
Really?
whatever. Ugh, these people. And I'm trying to figure out navigate which way is like the west end of town.
Alrighty. You definitely well, you're a ranger, so go ahead and make a survival check. This should be
Yeah.
easy.
Should be.
9.
Yeah, even with a 9, you're like, well, that over there is western-ish. Like the sun's there, what time of the day, and so you sort of make it to the western part of town, and luckily you see in the distance the mill, and you can make your way towards the mill.
Did we make our way past street food?
Yes, there's street food all over this place.
Okay, so like I'm like, Char, they have rats, and we're like picking up snacks because I'm pretty sure we're gonna do a night stakeout.
Alrighty.
So I've collected some snacks.
All right, so collecting
Did you
snacks.
grab rat jerky? Did you make sure to grab rat jerky?
I told you it's rats. It's the best.
Yeah, but it takes so long to make jerky.
Why are they selling these?
They're not really rats. We'll get into that next week. And with that, as you guys head
Nutrient.
towards the western part of town to where you think these various bards have been disappearing, we'll end the session for today and pick it up not next week, because some people are going on vacation. Woohoo!
I'll be in
Um,
Hawaii.
So have a great time, you two. But we'll pick it up in 2 weeks as the plot thickens and you try to figure out what happened to these bards.
Good news is I believe there's lots of flowers in Hawaii, and I think most of them can be peed on.
Mm.
I'll
We're
also
gonna
video
find
for
them
you.
all. We're gonna find them all like deep in the woods in a little hollow somewhere, all just blazed out of their minds on hobbit weed. I can see it now.
Uh-huh.
Who knows these things?
Yeah, well, thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks to the players and Steven and everybody that makes this happen every week. As Steven said, we'll be skipping next week, but we'll see you on, what is that, the 28th of April? Yeah, looking forward
28th,
to it.
that sounds right. If
Yep.
my math is correct.
Yeah, I think
Yep,
so.
28th.
All right, awesome. So we'll see you all then, and have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.